Tim, what the heck is Video Blocks?
Video Blocks is the best thing ever. Do you love stock footage, Greg?
I do.
I love stock footage, legitimately. This
Yeah.
is like my favorite thing ever. Kind of Funny Live. I don't know if you this not this footage, but a second ago there was footage that I used. Look at this. Now we're here.
We're
newscasters. We're doing fancy stuff.
Now I'm flying above.
It's fantastic. All the footage you're seeing here you can get on Video Blocks. It's super awesome. In addition to video stuff, there's also audio blocks and graphics blocks, so you can music. You hear that funk nasty beat underneath us?
That's a video block.
It's a video block. Well, from audio blocks technically.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you can get your yearly subscription today for only $99 at videoblocks.com/Greggy. That's Videoblocks, videoblocks.com/Greggy for this discounted offer. Not that. That's not a real thing. What if I had Video Blocks that gave my voice? I would change that one out.
I love this. Look at that. That's a monkey. He's making jokes.
This doesn't. Nothing we're saying plays for the people listening to the podcast. Go watch the YouTube video. There's a bunch of crazy ass stuff behind us. Nick, what's your topic?
My topic is just the trip that I went on.
Tell me all about it.
It was fun. Every once in a while, my wife looks me deeply in the eyes and says it's time to go on an adventure, and that is what we did. So the trip was actually basically centered around us traveling to Morocco, but in order to acclimate to the time zone, we decided to stay in London for a few days. And since I'd never been to London, I thought it was a great opportunity to do so. Not the least of which we took that opportunity to actually see the Harry Potter play as well. So I was like, I'm going to London for the first time. I got this idea. I'm like, it would be awesome to see this play. It's the original cast. I've already read the book. It's a phenomenal play. It's not a book, excuse me, a play. And I really want to see how they do it.
Because if somebody's just joining us, you are a huge Harry Potter fan.
I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. To the point where I don't know if I lost some credibility in my wife's eyes when she saw me in line for this play, or if I gained more, because I was like, we have to be in line like 2 hours beforehand. And she's like, why? We have assigned seats. And I'm like, I don't know. I just want to be around it.
Yeah.
So we went a couple hours ahead of time. She's like, we don't need to stay in the line. I was like,
Did you wear a robe?
I did not wear a robe, but oh, fuck, I forgot the shirt. I got a dope-ass shirt.
Was it Heather Gray?
No. They were sold out of those. But actually, no, they weren't sold out, but they had Heather Gray shirts with all of the house logos on it.
Oh, wow.
But to be fair, I couldn't rectify buying a Ravenclaw house logo because I really wanted that Gryffindor logo. So I was like, I'm not going to do it. We come back. This is kind of a spoiler. So if anyone hasn't read the play, well, you're screwed now. I'm going to spoil this for you. In the play, there is a moment where it's hinted at that the Dark Lord might come back through a lot of different things that have happened in the play. It's possible that Voldemort might be back, right? And in doing so, the Death Eaters rise again. And they have this dope-ass Death Eater logo on a black shirt. And I'm like, I have to get that. So I got it. And it's amazing. And it's really intimidating. And when I wear it, you guys are all going to be scared of me. It's going to be amazing.
Okay. That is one way that could go.
Lord
You're scared of me
again.
I'm a Death Eater in my heart. So we get to London.
I thought you were a rug muncher.
Woo! I still am. So we get to London, and the crazy thing is I kind of sprung a little bit on these tickets, and the ticket arrived ahead of time. So
how did you get them? Because we were originally trying to work. Okay.
So I was originally trying to reach out to everyone we knew to try to figure out if anyone could get me a ticket. And then
Daniel Radcliffe, and he's like, "Don't ever call me again."
He's like, "Where did you get my number from? Why are you in my bedroom?"
I did one Comic-Con thing with you. Stop calling me.
And why are you calling me when you're in my bedroom?
All of this is very
over his bed. Nick's on the phone.
Can you get me into the Harry? Are you still Harry Potter?
Are you still Harry?
So the thing about the play is, though, it's 2 parts. It is 2 hour and 15-minute roughly parts. So it's 4 hours and some change of Harry Potter. Now my wife, unlike me, not a huge Harry Potter fan by any stretch of the imagination. And she proved this to me as we were walking into the theater. She's like, now what happened again in Harry Potter? And I'm like, it's too late. It's too late. You're just going to have to figure it out and Google it as we go. But it's part 1 and part 2 of the same day. And we had to see it the same day because we were only there for a Sunday. And then it didn't run Monday, Tuesday. It was
So did you need to buy 2 tickets then, or is there an intermission in between?
There's an intermission in between. So what happened was originally I bought what I thought was 2 tickets. Now on the site it said, hey, we get like 2 tickets equals you get to go into part 1 and part 2. So 1 ticket is part 1 and part 2. So if you buy 2, you get 2 tickets to both parts, if that makes sense. It's very confusing. So I was like, okay, and I bought the cheapest tickets that were there, thinking these are really cheap. These are like half as much as the other tickets, but maybe I'm just lucking out here. And sure as shit, to get there, and it's just one set of tickets. It's not two set of tickets. It was unfortunately mislabeled. The person who was selling the tickets back mislabeled them. So it's like, oh, what a bummer. You know, I'm like, this sucks, but I'll call StubHub, and I'm sure they'll just refund my money, and we won't get to see the show, but it's not a big deal. I called StubHub, and the person on the other end was like,
"Oi, Governor, what's wrong with the
you know,
hamburger?"
actually, they were Irish. It was more like Daniel Dwyer.
Oh, my shillelagh.
Oh, my shillelagh. Oh, we guaranteed. They guaranteed the ticket. They were like, we stand by these tickets. You bought 2 tickets. That's our fault. And the seller's fault, not your fault. So when you come on Sunday, come by our office, which is only a block away from the theater, and pick up your new tickets. And I was like, okay. And they're like, they're actually like better tickets than the ones you bought. So you can get a refund. I was like, duh, no brainer. I'm going to go pick up these brand new tickets because they were on like the floor, like right, 10 rows back
You'd
from the
smell
from the
Harry.
thing. Oh my God, it was amazing. So we get there, jet lagged as fuck. And I'm like, I don't know how we're going to be able to do this. Like, I've already read the play. I know what's going to happen. And like, there's no way we're going to be able to sit through this. We get into the area, or the theater for the first time. Look at it. It's this beautiful historic palace theater in London. And you see this, like, the train station setting. And I'm like, I'm getting a little psyched up for this.
Yeah, you are.
I'm getting a little psyched up for this. Then it starts. And there's kind of a dance number. And I'm like, okay. They're dancing right now, but I can get in that, not traditionally found in a Harry Potter play, but I'll get through this. Then the play starts itself, and holy shit, hold on to your underpants, Greg Miller. This show is fucking phenomenal to watch, largely because it's a narrative show. It's a Harry Potter show, but it's a magic show as well. So they're not actually going out there like, and then fucking, fucking birds come out of their hands or anything like that. But they do ridiculously cruel shit. Like everything you read in the book, they actually do, including swimming, Dementors. There's a point where
Whoa.
How do they swim? Yeah. They got a
fucking
tank?
swim.
They got
No,
a tank?
they
Like in water?
You would love it. It's all through fly tricks. So it's all done with projection, and they fly people up and flip them over, so they're actually going down in the air. And like the first time you see the Dementors, by the way, which is like the second act break, it fucking blows you away because they're they're out in the bed like, oh shit, there's Dementors. I'm like, okay, it's gonna be like a lighting trick or whatever. Nope, fucking Dementors come flying from everywhere. Giant 10 to 15 foot Dementors coming, and they swoop down and like suck the soul out of people's eyes in front of them, like this lighting effect, and then they grab them and then pick them up and they're gone.
Tim, we got to go to London.
Let's go to London, dude.
Now, that
magic
effect was
over there in
awesome.
England.
The second effect that was fucking amazing was they do this effect where I don't know if you guys are familiar at all, but like they do the sleuths where you get like the fireplaces where you can travel through the fast.
Yeah.
Well, one of the ways they do that is you call up like a number and you go into the phone. And I'm like, how the fuck are they going to do that? Literally walk up to a phone and their backs turned toward the audience and they pick up the phone and then a second later their fucking robe just gets sucked through the phone and they're gone. That's it. And you're like, motherfucker, that is amazing. But the effect that blew me away, and I was like, how the fuck are they going to do this, was they turn back time. And it's part of the narrative is that they have a time turner and the whole thing gets all fucked up and that's how Voldemort is able to potentially come back. And I'm like, all right, this is going to be crazy. So they have this little time turner, right? And they start using the thing. And as they're using it, like, obviously they do the thing where it goes like this, and then it's like hovering, and everyone's hands are around it, but it's hovering them. And I'm like, whatever, I've seen that before on the internet, right? And then all of a sudden, the whole set goes a different color, and all these clocks you didn't know were built into the set start spinning back. And I shit you not, do you remember when you jumped into the water in Mario 64, and that tidal ripple effect in the water? The whole fucking set goes like it just shakes, like, and it does that ripple effect, and then boom, you're back in time, and I'm like. Like every time it happened, I'm like, this is fucking amazing. And then they do shit like they did the transfiguration, like they drink the polyjuice potion, and they're like, and they go like this, and then all of a sudden another fucking head comes up, and it's the other actor. Like they're just there. It's all trapdoors and stuff, but it was so flawlessly done that I'm like, holy shit, that was amazing. And then we get the 3-hour break in between the two parts. And I'm
3
like,
hours?
Yeah, I was like, I'm dying.
Shit.
We went and got lunch and like walked around the West End area, came back, and then like we started. I think the show started at 1. It didn't finish till 9. So it was like it was a lot of Harry Potter, but it was really well worth it. And the show is beautiful. The cast was amazing, and being able to see that the cast. Like the original cast of it is something special. So
That's
if you can do
awesome.
it and
That's
you have the
awesome.
money for it, it was
God,
expensive.
that sounds so cool.
But it was fucking tight, man.
Is
It
there
was
any
like-
YouTube clips of this?
I don't know. Probably. I'm sure some people tried to film it, but I mean, it doesn't really do it
GoPro
justice. Like,
glass.
Yeah.
and you know the guy that like a lot of the actors. I mean, the actors are all pros. They're all like phenomenal stage actors from London. The young guys were great too. Everyone was great. So we did that. That was the first day. Then the second day, I'm like, we're really tired. But we're gonna flew it all around London, and then I start getting obviously people start picking up that I'm in London. So all the best friends out there are like, hey, if you're around, we should do something. And I'm like, nah, it's not really my thing. It's more Greg's thing. Like, and then my wife literally goes like this. After like the third or fourth tweet, I'm like, should I do like a thing, like a meet and greet? And she goes, what would Greg Miller do? And I'm like, well, Greg Miller would have already had 5 meet and greets, so I already fucked that up. We had one in the, one on the plane, one in the airport. So I was like, yeah, I'll see. I called up Tom Hawkins and actually texted him.
Oh, Governor Tommy!
And I was like, hey man, if you're in town, like let's grab dinner. And he was like, a lot of people want you to do meet and greet. And I was like, well, sure, all right. And as I'm like typing it, he sent me the image of like what he wanted to use, and I'm like, all right, I got to use this image because how wildly offensive is that? And there
was you as like a palace guard.
Yeah, palace
right?
guard, and just
Kevin, insert that image right here.
There you go. Nope, he just said no.
Wasn't there a
right,
debate if that was Tom Hawkins or not?
Yeah, somebody's like, oh, Nick made an image. I'm like, Nick did not make that image.
I could have
Under
sworn you
no
made it.
circumstance did
That
Nick make
looked
that
like
image.
a Nick. I mean, the fact that you did, I wouldn't have believed you did a meet and greet. But the fact that you did, I'm like, I think Nick made the image.
Did his own shit.
Yeah,
So
idea.
the image that I wanted to make originally, that I had in my brain, but Tom Hawkins made one. That
Are you
was
sure
much,
you want to
much
say
better.
this?
It was going to be me with my face on Arnold Schwarzenegger's body, fucking like
From what?
Like from Commando, obviously Commando.
Okay.
Invading London basically, and being like the Americans are coming back for revenge. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I
Just
hear you.
taking down London.
Yeah,
left and right.
they would have sent some bobbies out to get
Would
you.
have gone over well. So London was amazing. And then we went to Morocco.
How was Morocco?
Morocco was very different.
Yeah.
And very surprising what you discover about yourself when you're immersed in a culture so completely different than the one that you're used to.
Yeah.
Namely, we flew in at night. It is very intimidating at first because it is an Arab country. Like it is. There are not too many tourists, specifically in Fez, where we flew into. And so you're driving through this area that looks, obviously it's a completely different country than anything that we're used to seeing in the media as far as the Middle East is concerned. But you can't, like, for me personally, and this was very telling, I was like, I can't shake this feeling that this is a dangerous place to be, especially as a white American. I'm like, this doesn't feel right. And I wasn't freaking out so much as that just all my cultural biases and kind of inherent latent racism.
Well, sure. When you're talking about a Middle Eastern country, right?
Yeah.
When do we see them? In Jarhead, when things are about to go south.
Right,
You
we're
know what I
only
mean?
ever
Or-
told that anyone who speaks that language or believes in the Muslim faith is bad, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, wow, this is kind of weird. This visceral reaction I'm having, and coupled with the fact that it is a very different environment than we live here. Like all the houses are walled off. Everyone. There's no real tourism in the outskirts area of Fez. So we get there, we go to this beautiful riad, which is it's kind of like an old school house that has been built out to be a hotel, basically. We stay there, and I'm like, oh, this is crazy, but we'll just get a good night's sleep, and tomorrow morning we'll just kind of go into the city and try to immerse ourselves as best as we can with this kind of like weird freaking out that I'm doing. Wake up the next day, go out, everything's amazing, everyone's nice, everyone's cool. Like, I mean, it's still kind of a, it's still a very intense environment to be in because we were in the Medina, which is basically the central city, the old city that's walled off, and there are these high walls, very claustrophobic. But it's just where people live, and it's where they sell stuff, and it's just their life, right?
Yeah.
And you go out to that, and I felt stupid, like I felt silly for going into this environment and being. I mean, it's intimidating no matter what because you don't speak the language. Not a lot of people speak English, but we had a guide that we.
Oh, you got a guide? That's awesome.
Yeah.
What was his name?
I cannot remember actually because he introduced himself to me and I thought it was
So quickly, and you're like,
yeah, and I was like, and then I was like, oh shit, I didn't catch his name, and then
too late
it
to
was
ask.
late.
Did D catch it?
No, she didn't catch it either. But also again, another one of those like it was a hard name to remember.
Yeah.
The guy that we hired at the next trip was Mohammed, so that was a little easier.
Got it.
I was like, Mohammed, I can remember that one. That's a fairly common name. But yeah, so the first day we were in Fez, we actually got a tour of the Medina, which is like the older city that's built the high walls and all that stuff. And we kind of went slowly but surely down into the belly of that, into like this crazy tannery. You can see pictures on my social media, like where they actually make leather and tan leather. It's fucking crazy and smells like gamey meat. And they give you like mint leaves so that you can smell them if the smell is too overwhelming. But I'm like, no, I'm a man and I like meat. So I just dealt with it.
Made you hungry for all that Jack Link's beef jerky you left
Exactly.
behind.
Who I noticed is gone, by the way. Whoever ate that is.
You know exactly who ate it.
Yeah, I know
Whoever
exactly.
ate that.
I just threw it out. You don't leave food for 2 weeks out.
It's beef jerky. Doesn't matter.
I bought some beef jerky thinking of you on my flight back from Canada, and it said in the back, refrigerate or eat within like 5 days or something
Really?
like that. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Kevin might have saved your life.
He probably saved my life at the expense of his own colon. So Fez, 3 days, and then we drove across the country to Marrakesh. And that was actually probably the best part of the whole trip. We just got to see a large portion of the country. We stopped off for the best meal that I've had, which was just like in this small little town.
When you say the best meal you've had on the trip or ever?
On the trip.
Okay.
Right, which was just very lamb.
You've been to Morton
Well,
I have been to Morton Steakhouse.
You're competing with England, so we're not really talking about the.
Bada bing!
You know, the food in England actually wasn't as bad. Everyone says the food in England is terrible. I'm like, it was totally fine to me. It was just, I don't know. It was like, we just found.
Did you have bangers and mash?
No, we didn't have any bangers and mash. We just
You did have some cheeky Nando's.
Oh, I did have Nando's. Yeah, I had Nando's.
Oh, how was it?
It was okay. It was
Yeah,
serviceable.
sounds about
the
right.
problem with Nando's is it's like an El Pollo Loco, right? It's a little bit better than that, I would say. I don't know if you guys have ever been to the Market Broiler, but it's like that, where they're like, we kind of make the meat fresh, I guess. It tastes okay. I can understand why people would like it. I get why, like, it's a cultural thing. Like, if it were there, we would go to it a lot, and we'd be like, it's just Nando's, right? I guess you'd figure out what to get. You'd get it over
Kind of
and
how
over
you go to
again.
Starbucks.
Exactly. Like, with Starbucks isn't great, but we go to Starbucks all the time.
Yeah.
That's Nando's. So yeah, I guess it's cheeky. Then Marrakesh, which was a lot more touristy, a lot more like, it's like I kind of likened it to like the main area that's square. It's like Disneyland, but if they didn't give a shit if you had a live cobra, like out and about.
Perfect.
And there's no rides. It's just a ton of people,
And
a ton
cobras.
of lines, and fucking cobras. And there's pictures of me with snakes around my neck, not cobras, but there's a cobra in the background. Just a cobra kicking it.
Did you do the Cobra La chant when you were there?
I did it in
Like
my
Serpentor?
brain, but I didn't want to be super offensive.
Yeah.
So
Give
I
it
was
to
like,
me,
I don't know.
Cobra, la, 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 la.
For all of our G.I. Joe fans
But
out
see, if
there.
I did that in the square, that might be misconstrued as inherently.
Yeah. That would have been
So I
bad.
was like, I'm not going to do that.
Different cultural norms.
Yeah. But the best part of the trip was we went out to the desert for a night. And I'm like, this is going to be fucking awesome, right? We're going to sleep in the middle of the desert. We're going to ride a camel. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be so fucking quiet. And we get there, and the first thing we do is ride these amazing camels. And it's an experience because camels are very high up in the air. And I'm like, I hope to God I don't have to actually like pilot this thing. Well, turns out they were tethered together, so the guide could just walk all of them. And I was like, oh, I kind of feel stupid because I'm not actually guiding this camel with my own two hands. But then at the same time, I don't want to just die, so I'll stay on the camel. And at nighttime, I'm like, this is gonna be so great. It's gonna be so quiet. And then as the sun went down, I'm like, what is that I hear? Are those marina douchebags that are at the camp? Nothing but Americans drinking beer all night, just screaming loud. Dude, bring me another beer, yada yada. I'm like, oh my God, are you fucking kidding me? You came all the way across the country to do exactly what you did in your home state in America? Go fuck yourself.
Real quick, all the way across the world.
Oh, country, I'm sorry. The world, you're right. My apologies. So that was a little bit ruined, but it made up for the next place we stayed at. There was, they actually had a little animal preserve, like a little, and it was amazing. They had
Who'd you get to hang out with?
I got to hang out with, again, I think I'm in love with them, and I think I might send money back for their lives to be just a little bit better. 2 camels, and all the animals have names that start with P. And the camels' names were Pumpkin and Pickles.
Yep.
And they're the sweetest
I'm a big
things.
fan of this already.
They're the sweetest fucking things on the planet.
Yeah.
I got to feed them. They make this sound when they eat,
Like Porty.
just like Porty.
Big Porties.
And they have these they have the eyelashes, so they're very like feminine looking, very cute.
Were
They
any
look-
of them smoking? Because that's my exposure to camels.
No, oddly enough, the whole time I didn't see one camel smoking.
Weird.
It was crazy.
Used to be this thing called Joe Camel.
Joe
You're very
Camel.
young,
Yeah,
Tim.
I've
I
seen
understand if you don't
The
remember.
pictures of him and Jay-Z next to each other, and it's like, that's kind of weird. They do look like each other.
Damn.
With the glasses. Have you seen this?
I have not
There's
seen
a-
this
Google
image.
it. Jay-Z, Joe Camel. There's a picture of Jay-Z wearing sunglasses, and Joe Camel's wearing the sunglasses, and it's just like, goddamn. It's one of those, what's the Reddit called? The Reddit, like, lookalikes or whatever.
Okay.
It's hilarious.
Totally
Next
looks
time you
like?
look,
Is
next
that it?
next time
What?
you get a
Totally looks like.
Totally looks like, yeah.
next time you get a Joe Camel thing, look at his face, his like nose, and it looks like a cock and balls. It turns out that they hit a cock and balls on Joe Camel's face for years.
No shit. My wife just texted me pictures of Pumpkin and Pickles.
All right.
You're gonna see them. You have to. Hold on.
Did you tell her you were doing this topic and you needed a picture? So just randomly out of the blue,
Remember Pumpkin and Pickles?
she's like, "I wish we were back with Pumpkin and Pickles." Those are 2 camels for sure.
Which is which?
I don't know. I couldn't tell. Okay. I didn't pay that close attention. One's a female, one's a male. If I saw the balls, I'd figure it out. But I think Pickles was the dude.
You don't even know.
I spent that much time with him. But yeah, camels are my new best friends. And
That's
that was
awesome.
an amazing trip. And then we flew back to London for one night just to lay over rather, and then flew back.
That's awesome.
I'll tell you, the one thing I did learn from this trip is, are you guys familiar with Ryanair?
Yeah, oh yeah, the terrible air.
Holy
the terrible airline.
fuck. You think United's bad? It makes United look like first class.
They're like
This is-
Spirit Air in Europe.
Isn't this super cheap, Ryan?
Yeah.
Yeah, like you pay for everything.
It was
right?
like $75 a ticket to get from London to Morocco, and you pay for everything. To the point where I was like, can I have a water? And the guy's like, yeah, it's going to be £5. I'm like, what? No, I'll just sit here and be dehydrated. That's fucking absurd.
Yeah, they wanted to charge. I think the thing with Ryanair was they wanted to charge for a bathroom.
Yeah, they wanted to charge you.
And
the
like
bathroom.
I apparently couldn't get away with that.
Yeah, no, that's probably legal. But anyway, so I took a couple Ryanair flights. That was one of those like, Jesus Christ. But anyway, trip overall, amazing success. One thing I did learn was London is amazing. We should all go very soon. There's lots of people over there that love us.
I know. We wanted to go.
I mean, I'll say it openly. We almost did. Just
Oh yeah, we talked about it. I've talked about it.
It just
People.
didn't work out.
The whole reason you went on that trip, right, is that we were gonna originally tack it out of the back of EGX, but that fell through at the last minute, and so
Right.
you just had a vacation.
We tried.
Worked out well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We'll get back. We'll get over there.
Probably
one
for the best because then we would have had to go to Europe. It's a joke. It's a joke.
I was like, geez, I like Europe.
I've been to Europe 3 times. It's a lovely place. So I'd like to go back. Yeah.
Yeah.